Hello, everyone. We are going to go ahead and get right into this. I just wanted to say hello to you before we get into this draft. I am Bahamut, and joining me this evening is Ramani. How are you doing this evening? Are you excited for this? I gotta say, like, I think one of the most exciting parts about this is that we're gonna be going in this Division B matchup, and on the left-hand side, we're gonna be having Stitches Be Crazy versus, on the right, CLG White. And these teams already banning Mephisto out here. And just really quickly to catch everyone up while we have this ban phase, which is actually going way too quick.
Holy moly.
Stitches Be Crazy went ahead and won the coin flip. They went for first pick. They banned out Braxis Holdout. Sky Temple's banned out by CGL White. Dragonshire is going to be game number 2, chosen by Stitches Be Crazy. And CGL White take us to Towers of Doom. Ramadi, after all these bans, what do you personally prioritize here?
Tank immediately.
In first
you have
pick?
a tank choke going on. Yeah. Well, you have Garrosh, Muradin gone. If you don't take, there it is. You got to have your Joe, right?
Now, in comparison to something like a Diablo, and there were some tank changes that came through, and we can maybe hit on those a little bit later, but I was going to say, which do you prefer over that in that first slot on Towers of Doom? I mean, the poke out from Joanna can be really powerful, but then the engage and the die from Diablo is really, really insane. I mean, which do you prefer on a map like this yourself?
So, honestly, now that we have more information, I would have loved the Arthas in here. He saw some minor buffs today. The sustain goes up, slow goes up into the Greymane. It's amazing. Into the Diablo, it's amazing. Joe's just going to give you nice mid lane control, basically, right? Good vision, but you're going to have to find the engage. Although they've got engage now, Jaina Stukov. There you go.
And that, like, with the engage from that is going to be really, really powerful. The other thing to note on top of that is the fact that you have the poke from Jaina. You have the poke from Joanna. You have the poke from Stukov. And the slows from Jaina and Stukov, I wouldn't be too surprised to see a high priority onto a Phoenix ban here. I think there's a lot of value that I think Phoenix can still pair with these many members, but they go for the global aspect, that solo lane Dahaka.
They're going to get the global out. Now, Phoenix saw some minor changes in the patch today, but Yes, correct. Again, they're minor though, and when you're thinking those slows into that salvo, if it's still coordinated, it's still a powerful tool.
Oh, absolutely. Now, salvo did salvo get touched, or was it mostly? No, it was a cooldown increase, was it not?
Correct. Yes. Yep. It got increase in CD.
Yeah, and we actually have a solo lane Yrel coming out, but this is going to be potentially a solo support Abathur, which is actually something we've seen a lot of teams do.
Now you're wishing you had the Arthas if you are on the left side, if you're the blue here.
But actually, to be honest, Stitches Be Crazy, that Maltheo, I think that's what you're going to talk about.
You read it. Absolutely. That's a great pick. That's a great response.
Now, Maltheo into the Yrel. Can you talk a little bit about that?
This is going to be brand new for today. Yrel is going to have to be super aware of her mana now. She got mana increases across the board on all her abilities. Maltheo was untouched into this. Post level 4, I think you're really going to see a Maltheo spike, and Yrel is going to struggle up in that top lane.
That is true, but we actually do not get the solo support. We're going to get the Alexstrasza. I mean, point control with Alexstrasza, extremely powerful. The Dragon Form is great, as well as the just utilization of Lifebinder potentially. Even then, Cleansing Flame is a great chase tool for, a bit of a pick at the end.
So on the left side is Stitches Be Crazy, is that correct?
Correct,
They just took the Maltheo. Okay. If I'm Stitches Be Crazy, I'm going on a Pale Horse on Maltheo. I'm going to double soak with him starting at level 4, and I'm just going to put a ton of pressure in that bot lane. You have to abuse this Abathur early in the game. You can't let him get a lead. You can't let him stay even. You have to punish through structural damage.
And the hard thing with that, too, is that it's going to be that Abathur. The Abathur with Mule at 7, potentially. And with the Alexstrasza coming in, that means that you don't have that shield talent that you'll need at level 7. You can go for the Mule. So that extra sustain in the lane is a big tool, especially the fact that he's the only one that can do it. There's no other hero that can do it like Abathur.
Now, that is accurate. Now, the other thing to think of here is if you're on FWC, your siege is Greymane. Alex not going to siege, Diablo not going to siege, Yrel okay siege, it spikes at 16 late in the game. Abathur can help you, but Greymane is going to be the one having to keep you up here. So again, you've got great siege with the Jaina, with the Raynor, even with the Maltheo who does okay into that. You really, I cannot illustrate that enough. You want to try and abuse this early rotational value you get via Jaina Joe, and you also want to try and get that structural damage.
Well, we're going to be going for it here as we get into game number 1. We have Tycho on that Stukov. She's going to be on the Rain. Nope, that's going to be on the Joanna. Belios is going to... No, Belios is on the Joanna. She's just hiding on that Jaina. MS is going to be on the Rainer, and we'll have Easy B, I think, going to be on that Malthael.
Now for FWC over here, Breitz is going to be on the Diablo. You've got Fabre on the Greymane. You're going to get triple C4 up on the Alexstrasza. In the top lane, you've got Pwn on the Urel, posting up bot lane Soulman on the Abathur.
Oh, we're actually going to be having my title might for some reason still be wrong, but it's we're going to have CGL White.
Oh, CGL White. Excuse me. I apologize multiple times.
I was like, wait, did I have the wrong title? Do I have the wrong names in here? No, it says the right thing. And just quickly, if you might not know, O is the hotkey to lock onto me, and if you break from me, C is the key that will relock to me.
Absolutely wonderful. Thank you for the reminder.
In case you want to catch on, if you just want to just hover around and fly across the map. But let's actually get into the start of this here, as we do have that on a pale horse from that Malthael. Soulman on the Abathur is going to be pushing in the bot lane. Often we see a little bit of extra support in the top lane to help them hold that over, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
And here comes the double soak out of Malthael already. An interesting choice for Raynor. You've got veteran marksman. He plans on being in lane a whole lot of time. And over here, Stitches Be Crazy already using rotational advantage to try and push this bot lane.
And the thing is, I wouldn't be too surprised to see a heavy priority into bot lane. You mentioned the double soak for Malthael. It looks like Urel's going to be trying to do the same thing. Now, with the Abathur hat, that might be a little bit faster for her. That maybe makes up for that mana cost that was added in today. But at the same time, these fights are going to be weak. They're not going to have that extra body. It's currently going to be 4 sieging into 3 in this bottom lane. Soulman can only do so much on that Abathur.
So we did get a couple of the pumpkins up in here on the bot lane, but now the return push is going in. The 3.5 with the Abathur happening. Now, if we look up top, Malthael is starting to win this rotational battle. We would kind of expect that to happen, but he's ever so slightly getting a lead.
That's the thing, is you have this faster rotation, and they're really not losing too much out on this. They're making sure that the towers aren't going to be doing the damage to these minion waves, and they're not losing that experience. But looks like after the Sappers weren't pushed in for either team, realistically, they're going to start these rotations between mid and bottom, give a little bit of a reprieve to that Malthael.
So even though the Sappers were not really pushed in, Stitches Be Crazy still able to get that top tower on the bot lane. And now if we flip over here on CGL, we want to note that Pwn on that Abathur is really starting to make his presence felt. He interrupted rotations back to mid. He's helping his 3-man keep even on that soak.
That's the big thing. And this is also another place where Abathur really, really strives, is these maps where you can sit there and delay objectives out. Think of like Cursed Hollow, for example. That's a great place for Abathur. And I love this. Soulman is just going to go ahead and sit onto the point over here while the rest of the team just goes ahead, and it's like, all right, well, cool, I'm Urel. I'm going to go ahead and just grab this left bell tower. And they end up trading 8 shots for 4.
What a practice move right there. Great macro call. We're just going to take your top left bell tower here with our 4-man. We're going to let Abba do his thing. Y'all can be wherever else.
And this is where, you know, the key macro play comes out with that Abathur. If you can manage to pull off some extremely good plays, actually we have a bit of a brawl in this bottom lane, but nothing. And actually, to that note, we really haven't had a whole lot of fighting in the start. It's been a lot of just soaking and playing kind of safe.
This has been Stitches Be Crazy trying to just build some of those rotational advantages. Absolutely.
And we actually see them step up a little bit here, but Raynor will do just Raynor things, rotate down, and just continue to help the team, as 7 has been achieved first for Stitches Be Crazy, but CLG White not too far behind. That's that Abathur soak that they really need to make sure they're still capitalizing on, while Soulman is just kind of bodying this lane and Malthael working in the top lane. It's
Stitches Be Crazy. Stitches Be Crazy, sorry about that. Stitches Be Crazy going to back out, take the safe play. I like this a lot. You had a 7 advantage for about 20 seconds there. You could have invaded 4v3 into that other camp. They're going to do it now anyway, though. Here we go.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and try and get some damage onto Breitz here, but they managed to walk away with that Abathur hat, and it seems to be like it's going to be an easy steal. The blind also is not something I don't think we talked about too much in the draft, and how great that is going to be to neuter Greymane, in a sense, to not really have that dive burst that they so desperately want.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
We actually have a bit of an engage on this bottom lane. They're going to try and push in here.
Silence, speed, see ya.
Breitz is not going to be living through that, and I don't think this mule is going to be able to do too much here, as they have gotten almost all 6 sappers onto this bottom lane fort, and They do have a bell tower available, but they know that they can at least get 5 shots as Malthael goes ahead and picks that up.
Yeah. Jaina going to finish it off on the bottom lane there. Great control out of them. It's going to be difficult, I think, for CGL to take that bottom bell tower back.
That's the big thing on a map like this, and I don't think we hit on that very, very hard, is if you control bottom bell tower, you control a lot of the macro, a lot of the rotational factor, because you get 2 altars in the bottom lane as well as being able to feed in the sappers. You can deal a lot of great damage to the enemy team, but so far posturing right now.
So the pressure that this is going to put, it forces CGL to have to bring Yrel down to match this 4v4, try to take this bell tower back, and that pits Abathur versus Malthael. Unfortunately for the Slug, that is a losing matchup there, Baja.
Yeah, I don't know how much they're going to be able to do with that Abathur, but they're still holding over this bottom lane. That's the big thing. 10s are going to be, those heroics are going to be on the cusp for the members of Stitches Be Crazy, and with a level lead, they might be able to really take an aggressive fight. The other thing, too, is they have a bottom lane bell tower starting up altar very soon, and this is the rotation factor that I'm talking about. It's the only way to go through this is through the sapper camp, or you fight through this camp. Blessed Shield not connecting. Blessed Shield so close.
Just so close. A really nice Plateau Joe there, stepping up. I was expecting insta-lock on 10 into the Blessed Shield, insta-lock on that engage, into Jaina's blow-up comp that was going on. Except Jaina goes Water Ellie, which I know is the preferred choice right now. I was really expecting the Blessed Shield into the Ring of Frost for the obliteration there instantly at 10.
I like the idea of the Water Elemental here because it just gives them more poke, but we see Fabre getting so much damage onto Malthael this time. They're getting so much chase, and they're not able... Do they get the Gilneas cocktail? No.
Calculated. Not even close.
No, they won't be able to get that, and it looks like they are going to be getting this capture.
Yes. So they're going to have to give up the bottom lane here. The other thought, you just achieved 10. You had a Greymane. You had a Yrel up here kind of into the top lane. I think I wanted to see them put just a little bit more macro pressure into that top lane, try and get a response going on. If you're going to dedicate 2 heroes up there, and if you're not going to get that pick, let's get value elsewhere.
Grabbing this Sapper Camp in the top lane is going to allow them to have that little extra siege that they want, but we actually have a bit of a brawl over here in this bottom lane.
Yep. CGL has not given this camp up twice. Oh, Diablo, what a great play.
And they actually get the kill onto the Jaina with that Lightning Breath, and the Cleansing Flame comes out as well. They get the pick onto Joanna. This is a 2 for none. They start to chase this even further. They do drop their clone, I think, from the Abathur, but they end up picking up the Stuke off. Fabre's so low. Last rites.
Oh, not quite. Just one shot. Oh my goodness.
And I don't think they get the Malthael here.
No, I agree. MVP triple C4 on the Alexstrasza right there, keeping the Diablo alive, getting the kill on the Cleansing Flame, coming down and denying the kill off of the last rites. What a play out of our Alexstrasza player here.
That, as well as having the hat from Abathur, was so perfect because of the fact that you just had that extra shielding, and now it was a tad after the seconds, but the thing is, you know, if there was any extra damage incoming, they had that opportunity, and with those 3 kills that they just got, that allows them to take back this bottom bell tower. They even up the score, and we are currently sitting at a potential 8 shots onto someone's core.
The engage. Oh, Jaina. Gonna walk away from this. What a great shot out of Diablo there. Not quite enough,
shield,
but the return.
That Blessed Shield locking down the Alexstrasza. They want more. They want more in this as they try and get the Abathur hat. They get the repositioning onto the Joanna. Fire Stomp going out as well, but no other kills. They lose their Alexstrasza, but that means it's going to be a double altar phase in favor for the members of Stitches Be Crazy.
I like trying to play off of that momentum right there. We just got 3 kills, boys. Let's go in and get another one. I wonder if you weren't a little bit better off if you're CGL here to just take the gentleman's trade on your bell towers, try and push the 13. I don't know how your stall comp's going to work to hold that until 13, so I think the trade there on the altars may have been better.
This is a really, really great use of the Hyperion here, and we didn't really talk about 10. Oh my god, the deny coming out from Rainier here as Breitz is trying to find that backline entry. They're really much on an island. That is going to be the Cleansing Flame coming out as well. They're trying to get that heal, but Jaina dead!
Oh, the right target, Baja.
They actually move their way onto the Joanna, who has nowhere to move. The Blessed Shield comes out, but that is a dead Joanna. They tried to also stack the, that level 7 talent. I never remember it off the top of my head, but it's the extra slow.
Yes,
subdue.
What is that?
Subdue.
Yes, yeah, subdue on the Q stacking. So Unstoppable's a wonderful tool, but it doesn't take you through body blocks. Feels bad for Johanna.
That is so true. It's not like that Dahaka that did get banned out, which in that situation, absolutely, you pop your Dark Swarm, you walk through the enemies, you're like,
100%.
deuces, I'm a dinosaur. But with this advantage that they had for a couple seconds, they're utilizing it very great. They're going to go ahead and push into this bottom lane, open up this bell tower. Johanna is going to be back in time, but they might be able to get a pick onto this mouth here, Romedy.
Ooh, what a great use of aggression here, but did you overstay? Last rights? Boom! See ya, Diablo.
Now, granted, that is probably the best target for CGL White, as they do have enough souls to come back. But here's the thing: no souls. They're chasing this really far.
Nope, Yrel.
She's out. She's out with that Abathur hat.
To get out.
But this is a triple altar phase. Your Diablo is extremely weak. They're gonna grab 3 sappers. Maybe they try and open this up more.
Oh, prioritizing sappers over. They're gonna get it anyway. Good choice there. Stitches be crazy. Turns out.
Actually, Breitz wants to, I think, interrupt
yes, he does.
Malfield this time, and they might be able to get the Fire Stomp. Oh, they get the Shadow Charge.
No souls Diablo into Malthael. That feels bad.
The other thing, though, too, is they managed to go ahead and pick up the right-hand side also, and that's actually Hyperion getting so much value here. Alex Straza going to be falling. Stukov getting value on that backline. Absorption used as well. We're going to have Diablo falling on top of that. That is going to be the clone gone.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God. Do they scout out Bune?
They got her.
Do they? Yeah, they got it.
Choose the death. Tekivo has been on point this whole game with those slows, the stuns, and now with Virulent Reaction. I'm sorry, he's lingering spines at 13. I thought that was the stun, but he was perfect on that lurking arm right there.
That gave them the opportunity to get 4 more shots. They put them in the potential checkmate area. And when I say checkmate, I mean that's basically if you can get someone down to 3 core health, that is kind of where you take the bottom bell tower, you pick up some sappers, you feed those in the bottom lane, you wait for an altar phase on top of that, and you just kind of have this situation where it's like, all right, well, they either walk in or you let us pick up these altars. But we do have the next altar phase being a double altar phase, so this is going to be interesting how the members of CGL White position themselves across the map.
Now, if you're CGL right now, you are saying thank you for camp. That is going to get you 0 value there. Experience is negligible at this point, basically 15 to 15. I was looking to see Stitches be a little more aggressive into this bot lane after they had won that fight, after they had got that boss.
Yeah, it looks like we do have this bottom lane is being pressured, but I don't think that they're going to get the value they're looking for. Mule also coming back to make sure they get that right back up. And at that point, they just say, all right, let's get a camp and at least try and get 16s and then maybe fight them on an advanced talent tier.
So if you are CGL right now, you are in a bind. You put it perfectly into checkmate here. Can you go invade that camp? Not 3v5. Can we get before 16? No, you sure cannot.
This is a hard spot to be in. Yrel is going to rotate down. They have almost every heroic off of cooldown. They're starting to step up in this bottom lane, Romedy. Hyperion as well.
Early Hyperion, what a great Hyperion. Going to zone him off. This is going to let Stukov walk back. What are you going to do? It's your move, CGL.
No one's stepping up, and I think that's going to be...
No one does it. That's GG. What a great use of that Hyperion there, securing the end of that game.
That is going to be game number 1 going over to Stitches Be Crazy. GG. Well played.
Oh my. Exactly. Was that intense or what? Baja, holy moly.
What a great game number 1 to go into this series with. Like I gotta say, 7 to 5 in kills. I mean the damage back and forth. Raynor outputting 35,000 damage onto the enemy team, and Greymane not too far behind with that 27,000. Oh, we'll round up 28,000, but still a lot of great plays and a lot of really good fights.
The difference in healing on the two teams too, you almost had the pseudo triple support between the Yrel Abathur. They maybe count as one. Alex Straza out-healed the Stukov, but the silences from Stukov were just so powerful all throughout the game, especially around that top left altar.
I think the members of Stitches Be Crazy held over bottom lane so much better and had a really, really good idea of how to make their rotations work, especially in making Soulman on that Abathur struggle a bit. I mean, they really didn't let that Abathur get too much value this entire game.
You're 100% correct. You're reading my mind. I was just thinking about that. If you're on CGL here and you lose that bottom bell tower early, I really wanted to go see more of a focus onto that top lane. Try and use that to force a rotation out of your opponent, and at least try and get that front wall to get caught up a little bit of experience. It was 10 to almost 8.5 there for a little bit, Baja.
It's such a close game. I absolutely love that matchup that we just got. But I'm going to go ahead and swap it back over. We are going to go ahead and leave the stats page. Or at least I'm going to leave the stats page. You can stay there, and we can get ourselves set up here for game number 2, as I need to invite the teams and get our lobby going. But I just want to quickly say thank you all for joining us this evening. Ramadi is my co-caster, which I just realized I did not do my little co-caster exclamation point things, so I need to set that up really quickly, as I'm also setting up draft at the same time. So if you wouldn't mind, in your opinion, the changes that came into things like the tanks today, do you think it offered anything that will change up meta in any way, shape, or form, or we're just getting a bit of a buff?
So I don't necessarily know if we're going to see a huge shakeup in the meta. I think your 3 tanks that you see prominently, Diablo and Muradin, I think they're still going to be entrenched in what's going on. The difference is the health buffs that came through for Anub, for Arthas, he got a little buff to his sustain. ETC got a little health buff. Tyrael got a little health buff. All of a sudden, I'm wondering in the right compositions, I think you're going to see those gain a lot more play. And remember, Baja, Anub is already meta in Korea. These buffs are just going to make him more meta. That's going to be a Korean favorite come BlizzCon if these changes hold as they are.
Now, actually, on that note of you're talking about a Nubrak, I feel like I've actually seen a Nubrak in a few other places, especially with the reprise of Tyrande recently. With her changes that came in, I really think that she's actually going to, she pairs well with the Anubrak in a lot of these kind of blow-up combinations if they can't get that Muradin, because that typically is the big play there is, you get the Tyrande, you get the Muradin, and then you go for that single target blow-up. But the Anubrak has been really, really popular, I've been seeing, especially with the Cocoon and being able to lock down one member, start walking forward, and just body into the enemy team.
So I want to take a few steps back there. You mentioned the Tyrande, and she saw some fairly significant changes today, and she was nowhere to be found in the first draft for ours tonight. A lot of mana nerfs across the board, some talent changes that were reducing the way that she buffs auto attacks kind of across the board with Darnissian Oshery, and then also her level 4 True Shot aura. So I'm interested to see where her priority is going to remain going forward here tonight.
And that's interesting, yeah, because I don't think we saw a ban on her in that first game. It was like a tank choke, Mephisto choke. We took out the Azmodan, so I wonder if we see, especially on a map like this, where you can get these situations where you do need to have that extra vision with the Owl. That'll be huge. I don't know. I really, really like going into Dragonshire for a game number 2 here. I think this is going to be an interesting matchup between these two teams.
So this is a whole different way for them to play this map here. In game 1, Stitches Be Crazy was just able to say, look, we're going to force you to lose the mid-top rotation. You can't do that here on Dragonshire. It's a whole different beast.
All right, looks like the teams are ready to go. Good luck, have fun. And I like how we had 2 members just try and slide their way into the spectator slots right as we were getting going here. But this is going to be game number 2 between these two teams. On the left-hand side, we're going to be having Stitches Be Crazy up 1 game, trying to make it 2. And on the right, we have CGL White. This is the map choice for Stitches Be Crazy. I just want to point that out, too.
Mephisto again. CGL has no desire to play against the Lord of Hatred.
No, I mean, I don't blame them whatsoever.
Is this a tank again? Tank choke again, Baja?
Yeah. And just really quickly catch up everyone at home. We had the members of Stitches Be Crazy won the coin flip. They banned out Braxis Holdout. Sky Temple was banned out by CGL White. Game number 1 was Towers of Doom, and that was CGL White's map of choice, and they lost it. And now we're going to Dragonshire, the map choice for Stitches Be Crazy. As we have that Muradin blow, I mean, that's the thing. So that Muradin that we had talked about before, being able to dive in and get single target lockdown with the Tyrande, that's gone. That's not an option. But they highly prioritize this Yrel again.
The Yrel again, and she did not look all that great into the Malthael last game, and so now I begin to wonder, is this going to suffer from the same issues? If you don't pick the Malthael 1-2, there's certainly other choices that you can take, but he looked dominant in that last game, even with the Abathur help. Nope.
We get a first pick Dahaka. But that's the thing is, I do want to note this. Dahaka on this map, I think, is highly prioritized because of the fact that he has that wonderful top lane pressure, and being able to have that top lane pressure and then have the global aspect to flank the enemy team on bottom lane or just be able to go and burrow for the Dragonite, that's a huge tool to have. And this is the one map where I definitely see a lot of first pick Dahakas.
The prioritization on Teviko Stukov, again, he looked great on that hero last game, but now the Sergeant Hammer, you know that you're not unstoppable anymore. We're going to play the siege tank.
Now, being able to pick up the Sergeant Hammer and also have all that control sitting around you, that is huge. Being able to have Yrel knock people back with the Righteous Hammer and Joanna being able to pull them in with the Condemn and just kind of maybe even isolate targets away, that's a big play. But the Whitemane is going to be actually banned out here, and Whitemane actually did see some changes today, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
She saw very minor changes. My opinion of that is if you have a good Whitemane player, you're not going to notice all that much.
But that does mean that we have a little bit of a support choke, and we need to figure out what they're going to be picking on the side of CGL White. But either way, let's go ahead and see what they get here. They do need a tank, and they also need some damage on the side of Stitches Be Crazy.
There's ETC.
That's interesting. ETC being picked up here.
There it is. So now what we're setting up is the Mosh into Silence, or vice versa into the Ming blow-up. See a Sergeant Hammer try to get away from.
Being able to like blow someone up with the ETC as well as the Li Ming, that's a huge tool. And getting resets, now granted there aren't really many reset targets. These next two picks I'm assuming are going to be a little bit squishier. They do need their support as well as maybe a little bit of follow-up damage. I don't know how this is shaping up, but they do have a Gul'dan and a Deckard, huh?
So Deckard's nerfs were primarily aimed at his 13 talent Ancient Blessings. That is a 30-second cooldown, now a 60-second cooldown. That you're not going to feel that a whole heck of a lot into this composition. Potion of Shielding at level 4 saw a very small nerf. But what I'm most interested in here, Baja, if this is... Oh, that was the pick I wanted.
Now, do we get... Now, there aren't a lot of slow targets here. I mean, there are some talents that some members can pick up that can slow. That's later on.
Yes.
Do you think we get a Planet Cracker?
I'm not against that if we get the Mosh. I think with the Phoenix pick here, what I was really looking for is the 4 that you had picked prior is not going to put a whole lot of pressure onto Johanna. It's hard for Ming to really hit effective skill shots on her with all that mobility. I was looking for some kind of percent damage here at the back end of the draft. We got a Phoenix instead. Phoenix exceptionally good at pressuring out Johanna, who's just going to try to walk forward while you're trying to play Protect the Hammer. So that's your choice. The game you're playing is pressure out the Johanna, force her to rotate back to your Deckard to heal up, and then you look for the dive.
I like this. I like this coming out from CGL White, but at the same time, I don't know, Stitches Be Crazy, I feel like they can take it. But let's find out here as we get into game number 2. On the left-hand side, we're going to be having Stitches Be Crazy with GZB on the Dahaka. We'll have Tycho going to be on the I was going to say Tychus. It's the Stukov for some reason. Cheese is going to be on that Li Ming. Emsa is going to be on the Phoenix, and we'll have Belalos on the ETC.
And back here on the right, CGL, we've got triple C4 on his on the Deckard one more time. Fabre is going to be up on that Gul'dan. Breet's on the Johanna. We've got Pone back on the Yrel, and Soulman showing up ability. Abathur first game, Sergeant Hammer in the second game.
All right, I lowered a little bit of my bitrate. Maybe that helps out with a little bit of the lagginess. I hope that isn't gone. I will actually go ahead and drop stream in between these sets, and we'll go ahead and drop to like 720, 30, and that should kind of alleviate a little bit of the pressure. But let's get into this game number 1 or game number 2 between these two teams, as looks like we have a bit of an engage in this mid. No deaths just yet, but a lot of abilities being used and a lot of damage going out.
So far, great positioning out of both teams. Great use of the abilities. Stukov forcing away the Johanna, but Soulman far enough back to not take the excess poke.
Now, top lane, this is an interesting. I want to see how Own and GZB are going to be making plays here, because GZB actually getting pushed in, already having to pop Essence and getting chased by Own. But we'll keep an eye on that as this progresses. This Soulman is just going to be set up in this mid lane, and I think I did see them making rotations between mid and bottom, at least before these shrines activate here in the next 20 seconds.
Now, this is an interesting take on this mid-bot rotation. You're leaving Johanna to anchor in the bot lane instead of traditional anchoring in the mid lane. You're getting the 4-man rotation here out of Stitches Be Crazy. That makes sense with your ETC.
Well, yeah, because they did go for the oh my god, my brain. Proc Rock at level 1. I was like, I don't need to look at the talent. I can do it on my own. But they go ahead. They actually making the rotations is the big thing for the ETC thing here is having that ability to have that extra health and getting that as soon as possible. That just means that you can fight more aggressive earlier on in this game, as they're trying to actually, and you put this perfectly, they're anchoring for the team and also just pushing in, making the siege camp on the left hand side a little bit harder to get. But this is first altar phase going back and forth.
So far, CGL kind of showing a no rush to get these oh my gosh, the capture points here going on. They're just looking to abuse Sergeant Hammer. Now, as I say that, they're channeling both beacons.
They do have the opportunity for it, and I'm just trying to hop around the map here as we have just so many little fights breaking out. Top lane looks like it's just going to be easily just kind of is held between these two. Maybe Urel should sustain over on that, but bottom lane with Soulman on that hammer, also being able to siege up and Li Ming being able to poke in. The thing is, Triple C4 just dumps. That's a potion done. We still have this. It's just they need to get someone to capture this in mid, but it looks like Dahaka will get the channel canceled in top.
So here in bot, CGL is just looking to trade efficiently. Stitches Be Crazy. Sergeant Hammer and Deckard are back here saying, you know what, Li Ming, our mana is more efficient than yours. You go ahead and hit stuff. Deckard's just going to heal us up, and you're going to be out of mana before you know it.
And we actually have a power slide. The knockback is actually going to be huge there. The silence, though, onto the Gul'dan. Fabre is so low, but they won't be able to get that burst with the pulse round from Phoenix.
Triple C4 again being the MVP for his team. He was legendary on the Alexstrasza game 1. He's putting Fabre into his backpack right now saying, I got you, Gul'dan.
Silence, though, coming out the power slide. Healing, though, coming out from Triple C4 just perfectly as the tower will be dealing some decent damage, and Cheese just pokes out on that. Top lane, Owen going to be holding this over as they actually need to get this clear from GZB onto the lane. Meanwhile, in mid, they continue to go back and forth, and EMSA might be able to kind of push Gul'dan back here.
Here in the top lane, I want to poke here for just a minute. I feel like GZB could be playing this just a touch different. You can freeze out this Urel from that soak if you just allow the lane to sit back here by your towers. You're going to force Urel into a place where she has to be way out of position. Not that you're going to be able to punish that a whole heck of a lot, but small things like that in the solo
Absolutely.
lane.
Also, if you see her charging up abilities, you save the tongue drag for that, cancel that out, and definitely minimize her impact in the lane, but those are just little things. They're easier said when you can look at it from the top-down view and you're not actually sitting there playing and actually having to solo. Breitz is going to get pushed around a little bit here. She's dumping a lot of great damage out, but the thing is, Triple C4 won't be around for that healing, so they need to play this really safe.
The rare miss from Tevico there. I'm calling him Tevico and it's Techio. My bad, homie.
This top lane, though, between these two is just
I know,
the never-ending story. The never-ending story between these two, as they will just sit back and forth and just kind of hop around each other. Eventually, GZB will need to leave this lane as Urel is just going to continue to pounce, but that's the essence that they need. Meanwhile, though, in bottom lane, currently have the Deckard Cane back in play, and they are trying to get this point back. They want to get the channel here. EMSA has rotated down as well, but they continue to just kind of poke this back and forth, and this is going to be the top shrine and the bottom shrine traded almost simultaneously.
This is just such an interesting, it's a back and forth struggle going on between both teams right here, neither gaining a whole lot of value until...
ETC?
Oh, ETC is just out of that barely. Can we get the follow-up? Nice from the hammer.
And that is the first kill of the game, going over to the members of CGL White, and they will hold over bottom lane. Top lane's going to be picked up as well, but the thing is they've got no one in this mid lane position for the pickup. Gul'dan making the rotation, but I don't know if they're going to be able to do it, as actually Dahaka has burrowed off somewhere. No, okay. I was like, where did Dahaka burrow? And because he just went completely off of the map, and we do have that poke out into the bush, as they want to try and capture this, but they put a couple members down here for the infinite poke between
drag on Urel. I was about to question Fabre's choice there to clear the wave, but he knew, he had an inkling something was going to happen there in the bush.
That was smart, though, to make sure that you're checking the bush with those corruption stacks as they actually step up onto this. No one's able to counter these altars as Dahaka's going to be rotating up. They want to go ahead and get that.
This is 5.
They need to channel it fast. And fun fact, you can channel the altar quicker than you can channel the points. Dahaka's not there yet. They have nothing to stop them, and that is going to be the first Dragon Knight of the game going over in favor for the members of CGL White. A different pace in this game that we saw in the first, and they go straight into bottom lane.
Much more patient. I'm wondering if this is CGL's comfort here, and with the hammer setting up behind this Dragon Knight, this is a 4-man here. This is going to be a ton of bottom lane damage.
Being able to siege into this is huge. Now, the one thing I want to note here is top lane and bottom lane are probably the highest priority on this map due to the fact of taking out the sustain, the well. It's often something you see in Braxis Holdout or Volskaya Foundry, that prioritization onto the well, making sure that lane sustain is gone. Bottom, being able to have to rotate further away for your well, away from the altar, that's a huge thing. But we actually have a decent siege in this bottom lane. A little bit of a brawl, though, between this Dahaka and Gul'dan.
So I was just complimenting their patient play, and I wonder if this wasn't just a small misplay. You saw Breitz on the Johanna rotate into the mid lane to get that clear, leaving just 3 in the bot lane here, really hampering what they're going to get done with this Dragon Knight. I wonder if your Gul'dan couldn't have gotten, sorry, we get that Stukov kill.
Yeah, Stukov is actually going to be hit by the BFG there right as they're trying to make it out of dodge. That's not going to be happening. Belios is going to step up. The Dragon Knight has ended, but they have the 10 advantage, and they also have no support on the side of Stitches Be Crazy. And with the hammer being able to siege from afar, they should be able to confirm this fort if they stick around long enough.
Nice try with the ETC there, but easy bottom fort going to be picked up. Dahaka, in the meantime, just going, I'll just rotate top mid. No big deal, guys. I got this.
Just doing dinosaur things. Just going ahead and just getting some clear, getting some essence, and just evolving.
Doing dig dino things. Accurate.
Now, at this point, if you're sitting on the side of Stitches Be Crazy and you kind of lost into that entire Dragon Knight, it is very early, but they seem to be having this momentum, this pacing over you. What do you do to kind of interrupt that? How do you start to bring this back in your favor?
Well, your idea for Stitches Be Crazy is you've got a 2-minute engage. Every 2 minutes, you're going to take a team fight, and unless things just go horribly wrong, you're going to win that team. Got the ultimate of wombos. You did get your purification salvo, even though we got the stage dive going on.
Well, stage dive, if I'm not mistaken, does have a slow on in it. Yes, slowing them for 50%. Correct. So if you go ahead and you get the stage dive and then you have the sweep from purification salvo, the other thing too is you also get that upgrade at level 20, so you get the cooldown reduction as well as a larger area. Oh, that late game salvo is going to be devastating. But the thing is, we have to get there, and they also need to be able to take that fight in that situation, as it's 11-12, and the experience is starting to run away a little bit in favor for the members of CGL White.
Now, if your Stitches Be Crazy, what you're telling me right now, if I'm on CGL, I'm saying, look, you've got a Dahak, now got a on the ETC, you're just looking to choke me out via macro.
That's the way to do it. You can try and do it with just that Dahaka, but the Yrel is sticking on them like glue. And granted, yes, they're getting this tongue drag right now in top lane, but the thing is they still have this camp pushing in. Yrel is going to just go ahead and use the Holy Avenger just to jump over the wall, get the channel onto this shrine. They have the bottom lane. If they can just rotate someone in the mid, that's a quick second Dragon Knight for the members of CGL White.
This is a small thing, too, here back on the bottom lane, and this has been going on all map long. This has been a battle of knockbacks between Soulman on the hammer and Belalos on the ETC. He'll walk up and W the hammer, and Soulman says, no, I show you how it's done, and then he'll knock back the ETC.
They're just going ahead and just kind of pinballing each other as we actually have a bit of a breakout in this mid lane. No kills just yet.
Miss on the root.
That is a lot of damage going out onto this Phoenix. They're targeting. That's going to be the sweep coming out as well. They go ahead and actually interrupt it with the Lornado, and they're actually getting pitted into a corner. That's the BFG missing right between. Dahaka going to go ahead and get the burrow. That's the stage dive as well, Romedy.
This is going to be a disaster with the salvo now coming back in. No kills quite yet, but this is going to be a Yrel probably sacrificing. Oh, can you get it? Is there a drag? Nope. Oh, the root though.
Oh my god, I saw single digits, I feel like, on Own there as they turn around and they get the kill right onto Li Ming. No reset city for them. They actually come out on top of this. Yrel tapped well, said, all right, you know what, I've got top lane. We'll go ahead and leave 4 in mid, and we can continue to poke on this and try and take a Dragon Knight, especially with that Li Ming being down. It's 3v4 in mid.
Soulman just probably going to walk up here and start hammering on some of these towers, use the hammer to force them away. ETC split from the rest of the gate. This is, that shove.
That's going to be a lockdown onto a couple of members. They also get the root from the Decker King. The Power Slide comes out, but they need to back out of here. They get the heal from Tychus, but it's not enough. This is going to be another Dragon Knight. I don't think they can interrupt this Romedy.
I agree, absolutely. Now, are they running mid here for experience to try and push a 16 advantage? They are, okay.
It's an important pivot point of the map, and being able to kind of nix that rotational advantage is huge. And the other thing, too, is it opens you up to actually be aggressive in the later half and take the bruiser camp from your enemy team. And just also taking out that front line, you know, sustain, taking out those walls, it's a big factor here. Cheese getting focused on by Breets as the kick goes out onto ETC, separating them from the team, and they siege in this mid. The Dragon Knight at 35%, I think they just rotate maybe into top.
Oh, but the ETC,
Never
is this a kick?
From the back. Oh, they didn't have a kick ready. That was so lucky.
They didn't have a kick.
No, Dahaka in his backline.
Oh, now the kick. Yep, there he goes. Bye-bye. Now Dahaka?
Dahaka was in the backline. A lot of damage going out. That is the essence popped as well. They're trying to make it out of here. Corruption's decks will be finished by that Gul'dan. They could potentially take this.
You're trying to push.
Tongue drag onto
the drag.
Massive shove.
GZB. Oh, if you don't use your W there, GZB, you had the perfect body block.
Cheese got a little stinky and is going to be falling there. And we actually have the knockback going out onto Dahaka. They pop
Dahaka's
the essence,
gone.
and that is the Dahaka as well. They get their ETC back, but they lose 2 members. And this is what I'm talking about. I would be, if I was 3 levels up, I'd be like, all right, split off, grab the bruiser camp, also grab the siege camp, and then let's hard rotate for the bottom. Create multiple lanes of pressure. And that's the big thing here. But at the same time, they play a little bit slow. Triple C4 does need that mana on the old man, and the members are slowly coming back. So a little bit of a slower play, but at the same time, with a 2-level advantage, you really got to be trying to mess up hard in this situation, in my opinion.
3 levels up, they're taking the safe approach. You can always commend teams for that. You're already ahead in this game. You're kind of playing not to lose it immediately instead of playing it to win. I was really looking for CGL there to go ahead and do the Tempo Storm strat, split 2-2 onto the siege camps, send down Hammer to start on the bot camp out there with the bruisers. Now they are doing this though. They're timing these out. They're timing their siege along with that bruiser. This is going to be a big bot lane push with the Hammer, with the spell Aura, Baja.
And I think they want to go ahead and try and open up this bottom lane keep gate, because if you can have, and maybe even take a keep. I mean, they have the advantage. It's 2 levels, almost 3 at this point. And if you can just have catapult pressure in a lane, that's a big factor for your team. You're able to pressure a lane a lot harder, and then, you know, the enemy team is just sitting on a ticking time bomb as they starting to approach this with the spell armor as well as these siege giants.
Now, a great response from Stitches Be Crazy there to pick up their top bruiser camp. That's going to aid Dahaka push into that. It's going to help you catch up in XP. But this is going to be a bot keep wall here. Forfeit. Is it going to be the keep forfeit, Baja?
This is getting a little risky. They do have the points opening up at this time for both teams, and it looks like they're still sieging in this bottom lane. The one thing I want to note is they actually do have this top lane pressure. Dahaka has already gotten a lot of value up there with that. They go ahead and they split off, and I think they're going to try and take this Dragon Knight. They got a bit of value, but I think they, as you said it perfectly, indecision. They weren't really sure to stay for the keep or go for the objective.
Yep, up 17-15. You had your ults ready to go. I was looking for Johanna and our Sergeant just a little bit more aggressive there. You see Dahaka on the top part of the map. You're trading out that top fort for this bot keep. If you continue to push, that's a winning trade if you were CGL.
And the little bush attack there going out onto the Urel is not going to yield much, but that's going to be the stage dive going to be interrupted, and the BFG goes ahead and gets the kill. The Purification Salvo is not going to get what they want, but Stukov will be falling. Meanwhile, Cheese with 30-some health isn't caught. Phoenix will be caught by... Oh, no, they try and get the poke. Soulman is looking for the chase here. If they can siege up quick enough. No, they get the knockback onto the Dahaka. They're like, you know what? We won't get the Li Ming, but maybe we can get a dinosaur.
And now you're going to get this bot keep as well. Dahaka, you can delay this all you want, big guy, but this is that bot keep going to fall. Soulman making up for getting 3 points with the BFG through the uprights a little bit ago, catching 3 members, big damage, just wrecking that fight.
They could potentially end off of this. The death timers are low, yes. There's a couple members coming back, but they don't have their Dahaka for a bit, and they also have the siege power from Soulman on that hammer and a full health Dragon Knight that is just now walking into the bottom lane. It does 1 auto to the keep, and they start to step forward with this. Romedy, do you think they can end it?
This looks very dire over here for Stitches Be Crazy. You've got 4 seconds on your Dahaka coming up. Can you get enough damage on this Dragon Knight to save your key or your core from falling?
They're getting a lot of damage. They're starting to burst it down. This is starting to open up and not look very good. The core is below 50%. That is going to be the Lornado coming out as well. The Dragon is going to take this BFG, and it looks like that is going to be game number 2, going over to the members of CGL White. They even out the night 1-1.
What a different pacing. The first game on towers was hectic and back all over the place. Much more patient, coordinated, controlled play coming out of CGL here on Dragonshire.
That was an awesome match for these two teams. I really, really, really enjoyed the play that came out from the members of CGL White in this game number 2. And it's so chaotic in game 1, and for them to come back and really pull it, I love this. Let's go ahead and get who wants to do interview. And then you have the Nexus Gaming Series Discord, correct?
I do, yes, sir.
Let's go ahead and jump into Lobby 1. In their voice channels.
Be right.
All right. We will get Ramadi in here in just a second. Oh. I lost him? Where's my Ramadi? There's my Ramadi. All right.
Takes me a minute. Sorry.
No, you're good. This is like, this is my home. I am just like, all right, I'm coming back. I know exactly where to go. But we're actually going to be joined by the Urel player themselves. Congratulations on your Game 2 victory. How you feeling after that set?
Pretty good.
Now, all right, so game number 1, going on to Towers of Doom. You had they had the Abathur composition excuse me, you had the Abathur composition. I don't know, I like flipped everything in my head backwards, but you had the Abathur composition. What was it that kind of seemed to kind of fall apart in a sense for you? Because was it the out rotation from Maltheo? Because you guys had a lot of great experience, but it just seemed like that you never got that big boost or that big gap that you were looking for.
I think we really fell behind in the XP when we lost the bottom fort. That's
okay.
Right when they got the level lead.
And then was there just you just couldn't get your footing back into the game, or can you just talk a little bit about that game 1? Because it's always curious to me, like, when you're sitting in that position, what are the comms like? How do you guys what do you say to each other and say, like, all right, these are the plans, let's not let them out macros, or can you talk a little bit about that later half of the game too?
We weren't really worrying about the macro. For a while, we even just let Maltheo push the lanes to the walls and Abathur soaked it. Because Maltheo doesn't do any siege damage to towers.
Correct, yeah.
What we were really just thinking about is getting the kills in team fights, the fast kills, because they didn't have much zoning. So we just wanted to dive deep and get a kill early in the team fights.
And it started to work in the middle of the game too, when you had the Abathur clone and you were able to clone a target and have maybe double. I think it was double Greymane. That was a phenomenal fight. I think you guys took 3 kills, and then you had that potential to start working it back, but then they just ended up picking you off on another set a few minutes later.
Yeah, we stayed too long bottom lane.
Ah, that's that was actually. I think
we
that
didn't
was
have the clone
we
up.
talked about. Yeah.
Yep. We didn't have the clone up, and we just let him push us in.
And on that note, I'm actually going to pass it over to Ramadi. Do you have any questions for?
I've got 2 for you here, Owen. So 2 games on Urel tonight, 1-1. She saw some fairly substantial mana nerfs today, but it didn't seem like that was really affecting you all that much. What's your thoughts on those Urel changes that went through?
I really felt it the first game, right at the beginning. I had to tap like 2 minutes in, and I almost never have to tap on Urel.
So do you feel like that was...
I definitely noticed it.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Do you feel like that was the pressure that Maltheo was putting on you versus your ability to place pressure on the Dahaka? Is that kind of what led to that early tap versus not feeling it so much in the second game on Dragonshire?
Yeah, the first game I had to wave clear way harder because we were double soaking, so I had to use way more abilities. The second game I wasn't double soaking very much and could just hold all my stuff.
That makes sense. Absolutely. That's all I got, Baha. I'm good.
All right. Well, before I let you go, any shoutouts that you want to give yourself?
I have no shoutouts.
No shoutouts?
We played really well. How about that? Shout out to my team for playing a good hammer.
See, there you go. That was actually. I gotta say, those BFGs. There were a couple where I was just like,
those were sick. When he threw those out, I just.
There was one of the Stukov who was about to make it away, and it was just like, nope. How about a missile? And it was just like, I was like, yeah, that's how you use BFG. But congratulations on your Game 2 victory, and I cannot wait to see you all further down the line in the Nexus Gaming Series. Thank you so much for the game, and have a great night.
Yep. Thanks.
Awesome, awesome. Well, everybody, at this point, it's going to end it for us for just a couple minutes. We're going to go ahead and drop stream, and we're going to get ourselves set up for a match number 2 here. But don't go anywhere. Ramadi and I will be back in about 40 minutes with another Nexus Gaming Series matchup. That's going to be the Storm Division matchup between FWC Esports versus For the Kill. Do not go anywhere. That's going to be amazing. Ramadi, really quickly, where can people find you before we cut stream off?
Yeah, so if you're interested in what I do, on the team site for Heroes Hearth Esports, I also occasionally try to do the streaming thing myself from time to time. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/RamadiMC. I tend to be very active on Twitter. That's a better place to find me. You can find me there at RamadiMC.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we're going to drop stream really quickly. Follow this channel so you know when we go live. We're going to host over Cat Peach. Her and Palindrome are going to be going ahead, and I think they have another Div B game. So you guys can catch that because I think they're just a little bit behind us. And then we'll be back in 40 minutes with a beautiful, beautiful Storm Division matchup. Thank you all so much for watching. I am Bahamut with Ramadi, and we will see you very soon.